Coming up, a new innovation center to help student entrepreneurs. Plus, he jumps like a kangaroo. Meet our pet of the week. The news starts now.
You're watching NAZ Today, Northern Arizona's local news.
Good evening and welcome back to NAZ Today. I'm Nicole Rutherford.
And I'm Kaylee Doyle. Thanks for tuning in.
NAU is expanding the definition of library by adding something called a venture studio to Klein Library.
NAZ Today's Aiden McClendon has more.
NAU's Venture Studio is the newest addition to Klein Library, providing a space for students to workshop their personal business ideas, as well as work on group projects from studio coordinators. Last week, I had the opportunity to go down to Klein for the grand opening of the studio. In the back of the Klein Library sits NAU's new and experimental business venture studio. This community area is designed to foster an innovative mindset in the young entrepreneurs on campus and provide the tools to grow their ideas into real businesses. Franco Gervasio is the student marketing coordinator.
So my goal in the Venture Studio is not only to inspire more ideas for the Venture Studio as a student myself, but also to kind of push the initiative for students and get as many people as possible to either grow in their own way or grow entrepreneurially.
Entrepreneur and head of Catalyst Space Technology, Jihan Lee, was on hand to hear business pitches from the students. The coordinators plan to have more speakers like this going forward to inspire students in the studio.
That focus is what I feel like we are focused on harnessing here at the Venture Studio, is on being able to say that a student's focus is not only on just the degree, but it's on pushing students forward and being able to build something that is meaningful for the rest of their lives.
With this new addition to campus, students will now have a space to workshop their dreams into reality and possibly become the business leaders of tomorrow. Aiden McClendon, NAZ Today.
DPS says it has seized nearly 6,500 pounds of illegal drugs over a 3-month period. That's 2.5 tons. The drugs were confiscated between August and October. The drugs include fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, marijuana, and methamphetamine. The department says it's committed to disrupt the flow of dangerous drugs. Phoenix Raceway hosted the prestigious race for NASCAR Championship over the weekend. NAZ Today's Helena Robla was there.
It's the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race, and I'm here in Phoenix Raceway asking local fans what it's like to have a racetrack in their backyard.
Love it. Awesome. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I moved to Arizona about 17 years ago, and then I started watching NASCAR because I was out here.
And it wasn't just locals. Fans came from all across the nation to see their favorite drivers.
I follow junior motorsports, mostly Kyle Busch, big names like that.
This event also drew in big names like two of the world's most famous Michaels down on pit row. Michael Jordan as owner of the 23XI team, and Michael Phelps as the pace car driver.
Everything has to be perfect in these situations for us to have the best outcome, right? So there are things that are out of our control, but if we can just go out there and be the best version of ourselves, that's when I think we're able to be our authentic self and you see what we can actually do.
But no matter how big the event, Arizona fans were still rooting for one of their own, Tucson driver Alex Bowman.
He's a hometown boy. He's from Tucson. When we first started getting into NASCAR, found out he was from Tucson, we were like, we have to support Bowman, and have loved him ever since.
Elena Robla, NAZ Today.
The Arizona Department of Transportation is planning to do more nightly lane restrictions on I-17. Starting on November 12th through November 16th, the I-17 Improvement Project will narrow the road to one lane between Anthem Way and Sunset Point. Drivers should allow extra time and travel to drive with caution. If you have driven on Milton lately, you may have noticed the road is no longer restricted near Target. Construction for the Beulah University project has been paused for the rest of the year, but will return next spring. For now, the new Beulah roundabout will remain closed, but there are plans in place for it to reopen by the end of the year.
Snowbowl had its earliest recorded opening this past weekend on Friday, November 8th, but still wait to unveil their newest expansion, the Aspen Chairlift. This new lift will service the lower area next to the Hart Prairie Lodge, providing new beginner terrain for those looking to start out in snow sports. Snowball has been working on this expansion since the start of summer, and although there's no exact opening date yet, the team at Snowball are ready and confident that it will be ready by next year.
Mountain Lion, Coconino County, and the city of Flagstaff are teaming up for a Stuff the Bus event to benefit the Flagstaff Family Food Center. The event will be held Sunday the 17th at the Safeway located on South Plaza Way. Flagstaff residents are encouraged to bring non-perishable Thanksgiving food donations.
The event will be open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Family Food Center volunteers will also be on site to collect monetary donations. Their goal is to stuff the bus with 300 turkeys for the holiday season. The Food Center relies on events like this to help bring in food donations for the holidays.
NAU students are advised to stay alert after someone was spotted possibly filming a woman using the restroom. It happened around 3:30 Monday morning. A student was using the restroom in a campus living community. She says a suspect with a black iPhone and clear case held the phone over the barrier in the bathroom and likely took photos of or videos of the student. The suspect then fled down the stairs. The NAU Police Department advised students to stay vigilant, and if they notice anything suspicious, call NAU PD. North Country Healthcare is offering free dental care on December 13th and 14th for Coconino County residents. NAZ Dental Days include free cleanings, fillings, and extractions. Patients must live in Flagstaff and be at least 18 years old. To register for care, patients can email roberry@coconino.az.gov.
Flagstaff Brewing Company hosted one of their weekly events called the Poet Brews, which is an open mic for writers. NAZ Today's Karis Hayward has more.
I'm outside of Flagstaff Brewing Company, where they are about to engage in Poet Brews, their weekly open mic for writers. Well, that is, any writers 21 and up.
Poet Brews is an opportunity for writers to build confidence by sharing their work in front of an audience. I visited on a special night where guests were encouraged to dress up for Halloween. The event itself was hosted by the Youth Poetry Council's laureate, Carson Redman.
The literary community in Flagstaff is amazing. There's so many extremely talented, extremely hardworking, creative people.
Poet Brews allows writers to get out of their comfort zone and in front of an audience.
I'm really not a big read my work in public person, so this is like a really cool thing that I'm really proud of myself for doing.
Poet Brews is usually hosted by local poet and NAU student Margarita Cruz.
Come out, come watch, come listen, come read. It can be daunting to be in front of a mic, but this is not a professional place.
Cruz emphasized that Poet Brews is a supportive environment open to writers of all experience levels.
We encourage you to try out anything. It really is just a space to find your voice, to hear your voice, to practice your stage skills and kind of get used to being on a mic.
Poet Brews is held at Flagstaff Brewing Company every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Participants should be 21 or older and express interest in performing in advance. Karis Hayward, NAZ Today.
This week at the Humane Association, we met Prue, a personable mix whose favorite thing to do is jump like a kangaroo. NAZ Today's Noah McNeil reports.
Say hello to Prue, a 1-year-old mix that has stolen the hearts of everyone she meets. Volunteers at the Humane Association share with us how far Prue has come with trusting people.
She is in a playgroup and she's good on the leash, and she is not shivering anymore. She feels, we don't know what she had been through before she came here.
Prue has been at the shelter for the last month and is looking to jump into her forever home. She's very playful and is looking to create a strong, trusting bond with her new family.
The first time I met her, I took her out. I had to carry her out. She was shivering. She was just laying on the ground. She was super scared. And I have been walking her every week, and now she is just happy and jumping around. She likes to play.
Prue is current on her vaccinations and ready to adopt. Contact the Coconino Humane Association if you are interested. Noah McNeil, NAZ Today.
Coming up, President Biden and President-elect Trump meet in the White House. Stay with us.
Well, we have one more day of some pretty warm temperatures and a windy start to our weekend. I have more weather coming, so stay with us.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving. I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Welcome back. Donald Trump is back in Washington. The president-elect met with President Joe Biden, and the two were expected to discuss the transition process.
Julia Benbrook is at the White House with more on the visit.
President Joe Biden and President-elect Donald Trump meeting in the Oval Office Wednesday.
Looking forward to having a, like we said, smooth transition.
It's their first sit-down since Trump secured a second term.
Politics is tough, and it's, in many cases, not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate very much a transition that's so smooth. It'll be as smooth as it can get.
It's a tradition for the outgoing president to host the incoming commander-in-chief after the election. But Trump did not host Biden in 2020, as he fought the election results based on falsehoods about voter fraud. He also chose to skip Biden's inauguration. Following a disappointing loss for the Democratic Party, Biden has been intentional in his efforts to endorse the sanctity of the election and acknowledge Trump's victory.
Campaigns are contests of competing visions. The country chooses one or the other. We accept the choice the country made.
This meeting comes as Biden works to secure his legacy and Trump prepares to take office, tapping loyalists for key positions that offer a glimpse into how certain policies may be implemented. According to people familiar with Trump's plans, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem will be asked to lead the Department of Homeland Security, and sources say Florida Senator Marco Rubio is his top choice for Secretary of State.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help.
You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Be right there.
Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. My name is Matt Keenitz, and I'll be your student forecaster today. Taking a look at our Flagstaff, currently we have a temperature of 45 degrees and some pretty clear skies, and that barometer is reading just above 30. We are pretty humid right now at about 39%, but really no wind happening currently. Now we can see on that current satellite, not too much cloud coverage over the state today. A few wispy clouds coming over the most northern part of Arizona and Page area. However, nothing here in Flagstaff. Today we had a high of 55 degrees and a low of 17. We're getting closer to those averages. We're about 2 off from the high of 53 degrees and about 7 off from that average low of 24 degrees, but nowhere near that record of -3 degrees set in 2000. Now looking at precipitation, we did not have any yesterday. However, we have had 19.14 inches since January 1st. Putting us ahead of that record or average of 17.66 inches. That sunrise this morning was at 7 o'clock on the dot. Taking a look at high temperatures all across the state today, 78 was that high down in Phoenix, 64 in Payson, 52 as the high up in Hopi and Page, 68 over in Kingman, and down in Winslow, a high of 57. Now, taking it back to Flagstaff for tonight, it is going to get cooler tonight. 17 degrees is our forecast low with some clear skies, and that sunset at 5:22, so about an hour ago. Taking a look at tomorrow, we're going to continue with those warmer temperatures, 61 degrees and some sunny skies for tomorrow, and that sunrise at 7:01 a.m. Now, looking at the high temperatures all across the state tomorrow, 72 is that high in Sedona with low of 43, 71 as the high in Kingman with low of 41, 58 up in Page with low of 39. Over on the east side of Arizona, 66 the high in Show Low with low of 40, 65 up in Winslow with low of 33. Now, these temperatures are a lot warmer than average. However, that is going to dip down as we enter into a little bit of a cold front that is going to come from the west side of the state, starting at about 12 p.m. on Friday. Now, it's going to transfer over into more northern Arizona area, starting at around midnight on Saturday, bringing us some heavier winds as well as some cooler temperatures. However, as we go into the day on Saturday, it's going to transfer back over to the west side, bringing some light winds in the morning. However, those will die down by the afternoon, as well as bringing a little bit of a high pressure system on the east side of the state. Now, taking a look at Flagstaff Thursday, high of 61, low of 28. Friday, 47 as the high with low of 21 with those breezy winds. Saturday, 43 as the high with low of 19. Continuing with that low of 19 all the way through Monday, 45 as your high on Sunday, and 47 as the high on Monday. We're going to start seeing some more stable temperatures starting next week. That's all I have for weather, but stay tuned for sports after the break with Connor Emery.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised.
Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Welcome back. My name is Connor Emery, and I'll be your sports reporter for the night. We've got a lot of coverage from this last week, so let's get right into it. The NEU women's basketball team traveled to Las Vegas last Thursday to take on the UNLV Lady Rebels. The Lumberjacks went back and forth with the Lady Rebels in the first quarter, but ultimately fell 85-71. However, the Lumberjacks still put up a fight and never gave up. Head coach Lori Payne believes the team is on a good start to start the season despite the loss.
You know, we knew that our non-conference schedule was going to be really, really tough. We knew that this opening week was going to be really, really challenging. And so to come in here and, you know, continue to fight and battle with not having our best stuff, you know, I think that was one of the things is we didn't play the way we were capable of playing today.
After facing two Mountain West opponents on the road, the women's basketball team won their first home game on Veterans Day against Fort Lewis, 101-68. They will be on the road in California to take on the Pacific Tigers this Sunday for their next game. The NASCAR Cup Series Championship race took place down in the Valley last Sunday. 4 racers competed for the title, which was determined by less than a second. Sports reporter Faith Rodriguez has the story.
This weekend was NASCAR's Championship Cup Series race. There was 4 racers in the lead. This weekend determined who that championship cup winner was. In the final round of the series playoffs, the 4 drivers competing at Phoenix Raceway were Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, and William Byron. In the last lap of the race, Logano was able to advance from 6th place to 1st, overtaking teammate Blaney.
What a race. What a Team Penske battle there at the end. Had a good restart, was able to get in front of the 12, and he got a lot of long run speed there, and that's all I had there to hold them off. So man, 3 of them, it's really special, Marty.
Logano was able to hold off Blaney by 8/25ths of a second for the win. Global Director at Ford, Mark Rushbrook, says Logano is focused on all elements of racing.
Joey's a racer through and through. All he wants to do is win, and that's all he thinks about. And it's not just his driving that he's worried about. He's worried about every single element of the program.
Logano, now a 3rd-time champion, ties with NASCAR Hall of Famers Lee Petty, David Pearson, Cale Yarborough, Darrell Waltrip, and Tony Stewart. Faith Rodriguez, NAZ Sports.
Crosstown rivals Flagstaff and Coconino football battled each other last Friday night with playoff hopes on the line for Coconino. I went to the game and it definitely was an entertainment to watch. The Flagstaff Eagles and Coconino Panthers took the field last Friday night in their 55th annual rivalry match. Fans gathered and filled up the seats at Cromer Stadium to enjoy the game despite the weather conditions. While the weather was cold, the Panthers came out hot after Dylan Collado returned a punt for 70 yards for a touchdown in the first quarter.
There's the snap and the punt. There's a rush, but gets it away. Collado's going to take it at the 30-yard line. Goes to the far side. Turns the corner, breaks through a couple of walls. Now he's got some room. Crosses midfield to the 40,
gone.
30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Dylan Collado and the Coconino Panthers. 60-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Collado also contributed to 42 yards of receiving and got another touchdown late in the first half from his quarterback, Colton Buckingham.
It feels great. I mean, I couldn't have done it without my linemen. I mean, they put in a lot of work for us, but it just means a lot to me. It's my first ever varsity game, and it feels great.
The Eagles fought a hard battle and kept it close in the first half and were only down 15 points at halftime. However, the Panthers' offense continued to dominate in the second half, which led to a 49-26 victory. Eagles head coach Mickey Clements is proud of his team and celebrated the team's seniors.
Just how proud of them that we are as coaches, how much we love them, and just the way they battled all year, and going back to, the off season in the weight room, and just what they've overcome. Coming off a couple of tough seasons beforehand, their sophomore, junior year, the program was struggling, and then these guys really got out there together, worked hard, and made a big difference for us.
With the Panthers win, they move on to the postseason and visit number 4 seed Micah Mountain this upcoming Friday in Tucson. While this was a dominant win for Coconino, they look to keep the momentum going and make a deep run in the playoffs. Connor Emery, NAZ Sports. It was great to see a huge turnout for both sides for the rivalry game. Coconino has a tough match ahead of them this weekend, but they are capable of pulling off an upset in the playoffs. Speaking of upsets, Flagstaff Volleyball was defeated by the Saguaro SaberCats Tuesday night. The Eagles entered the playoffs as the number 1 seed, but lost in 3-1 sets. Despite their early exit, the Eagles had a remarkable season, finishing 37-3 overall and 12-0 in their region. Well, that's all the sports I have for you tonight. Stay tuned for your weather recap with Matt Keenitz after the break.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Is your family in need of more quality time together?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Nature is best enjoyed together. So bring the whole family to discover all the bonding and stress-reducing benefits parks and forests have to offer. Visit discovertheforest.org and trade in phone time for family time.
Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, grass, worms, bugs, trees, rocks, and other objects in nature cannot talk. If you'd like to have a conversation while visiting nature, you will need to bring humans along. We strongly recommend starting with your family.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Taking one last look at our Flagstaff Extended. As you can see, we're going to go through a pretty big drop from Thursday to Friday. 61 is the high on Thursday, going to 47 on Friday with some breezy winds. Saturday, Sunday, Monday are going to be pretty chilly days. 43 as your high on Saturday, 45 as your high on Sunday, 47 as your high on Monday, and 19 degrees as the low for all 3 of those days.
Thank you, Matt. That's all the time we have for tonight. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.